second. Alright. It's almost time. But, you know. Yeah? You think I can? I'm gonna... Okay, now it's 8 o'clock. Now it's the time. Welcome back for another Storytime Chit-chat. Thanks for joining Hippie Ghost and I. So, as per usual, I say it like I've done more than 2 streams. If you like this stream, be sure to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and check out my content at Wattpad for free. Chapters 1 through 6 are currently free, and the next set of chapters being added to that will be, that's this Friday, right? This Friday. And that will be chapters 7 through 9, Playful Shadows, Unfortunate Soul, and Burned Skin. But tonight we're discussing chapters 4 through 6, which is Another True Friend, The Fire Burns, and A New Day. Yeah. So, in chapter 4, Another True Friend, we have the characters that appear are Alora, Rune, and Flora. And we only have one god in the god chat this time round, but you know, it's still nice either way. I don't know why I said still nice, but I got a ta-da move. Okay. Hello, my viewers. Okay, so I'm gonna have my person play a nice little loop for us. For our aesthetic. We found a campfire where enemies don't spawn, but as I was saying, chapter 4, Another True Friend. So in this chapter, we find out that Alora really only has Rune as her family, so she doesn't really have any family. And we also get the feeling that, you know, sloths aren't very common, because Flora's like, what the fuck, mate? I mean, she doesn't say that, but she is confused. WTF, mate. I got that from a YouTube video like 10 years ago or more. I don't know, back in the dark days. No, I'm just kidding. But beyond that, so during this chapter, it becomes very obvious that Alora's go-to curse word is shit. For a 12-year-old, she really doesn't care about, you know, being she had to grow up way too fast, and she's cool with that, kinda. I mean, she could probably use therapy, we all could. And, you know, throughout the chapter, Rune is just being his adorable little self. And Flora, she's... What? You know what? You're right, and I really feel like that should be a story in itself, just like the unwilling hero, and it's a therapist. And it just follows this therapist going around through everything. I mean, I don't want to write it, but I kind of want to read it. You know? That'd be interesting. Make sure whoever it is has lots of coffee. So, Flora, she's, with a little bit of teasing, you start getting the idea that she's not the biggest fan of cursing, and, you know, Alora's like, well, you shouldn't be alone, because, you know, she's all like, don't be cursing. But, you know, neither of these kids should be alone, or cursing. They should be kids. They shouldn't be trying to be out here surviving the world, but here they are. And we see as they're, dealing with the situation at hand, that fear is not really something either of them are without. Flora is much more visible in her fear, and Alora is much better, more skilled at hiding it. So, during this chapter, we see Flora has gotten herself trapped in a bear trap, which I know is a trope, but you know what? I did a lot of research to tell me that the situation wouldn't really matter, but you know, it does when things are running at you like that, but you know, and you know, tropes exist because they work. And they make for good storytelling. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so common. If you hate tropes, then I don't know what to do with you. But, you know, please still like, subscribe, share, because I love you. But, not that you could see the heart that I drew with my hands, but it's there for you. How you doing? But no, so Flora during sometime after her bonding with Usko, she gets going through the forest, and she's still, you know, it's just her and Usko, and she ends up stepping in a trap. And it wouldn't be like, if she had the time to get out of it, you know, she probably would, but she's a kid, she's freaking out, she's trapped. Alora hears someone screaming and just bolts towards it. She's like, fuck my own injuries, I gotta go save this person, because she's got a huge hero complex. And you see this during the scene where she's trying to free Flora, trying to save her, because she's just constantly trying to assure her and distract her. And Flora's like, but, you know, you're pretty hurt. And she's just like, it's okay, don't worry about that, we're gonna worry about you. So, yeah, but that's only one of the options, Dave. Possibilities, damn it. I knew I'd fuck up that line. But, did it even matter in the end? I just realized I forgot to open up this on my, my laptop as well, so that way I could possibly, you know, see if anyone is putting stuff in the chat, but either way. Z, I believe. Unless I'm just stupid. I could be stupid. Just a little bit. But, okay. I'm glad that entertained you. Okay, there we go. There we go. I am in the chat now. I see you. Thank you, Z. Sorry, YouTube viewers that can't see the chat. One of these days, I'll figure out how to do stuff and things better. But today is not one of those days. So, anyways, where was I? Okay, so Alora's a hero at whatever cost to herself, and she's cool with that, you know? She's just like, whatever. But, sorry, had to switch everything around. Because I thought I was prepared, but apparently I'm not. There we go. It is the wild Z. It is the wild Z in the chat. The Gravas, you know, pop out of the woodwork like, I don't know, like this is some sort of boss music playing or something. If it was a game, there would be music starting up, you know? But Alora refuses. It's like that scene from Halo with the flood, you know? That used to terrify me as a kid. Oh. But, that first encounter with them. But, so Alora refuses to abandon Flora, and she manages to fight off, you know, the initial attacks and whatnot. But the reality of the situation is there's no way those kids are gonna get out alive if Usko didn't intervene. Because Alora was already fucked up, to say the least. But, you know, her priority... She's having a pretty rough life, but we learn about that in the later chapters. Be prepared for trauma. I sense tragedy. I did that for Z. He enjoyed that. I know he did. He'll say it in chat. Yes, see? Yes, there we go. Called it. Me knowing my viewer. Oh wait, viewers, I have more than one. Okay. So, yeah, so there's really no feasible way that Alora would have survived that first fight without Usko helping. And even though, thank you, Kyle, he just said, yeah, you do, in the chat. But, even though Usko did help, if you notice, she had to roll out of the way for it to, because he didn't calculate for where the crevasses would land. He was just like, good luck, kid, and drop them. So she had to dodge roll out of the way, because we all know that's the ultimate way to win any fight. So, well, if you're game, you know that. But, so after Usko drops the, he does the shadow teleport where he teleports them up in the sky, and they all fall down and basically break most of their limbs, so they can't fight or anything like that. And the fight is over. So Alora is, taking care of Flora, checking in on her, but the suffering of the crevasses drags back her attention, and we see that she has learned some hard lessons in the Acts of Mercy, the way that she deals with the suffering creatures, and she just ends she has a knife and she just, she uses an arrow? I don't remember. She uses the arrow to end their suffering. And it's that moment that Viserys really feels like, this person was worth saving. And it helps to further Viserys's interest in her. And Viserys is the god of the force god. Well, of all force in the world, like all nature and stuff, So, and at the end of the chapter, when the two are talking, we see a little blush spark up in Flora's face, and we see the start of her crush on her new hero. Oh, it was just so adorable. I love those two. But I ship everything. You'll find that out if you haven't already. Well, not everything. There are some things that I won't ship. Oh, look, an accursed pizza. Yeah. Oh, yeah? Yeah. So, anyways, so that leads us into chapter 5, which is the fire that burns. And we go back and we take another look at Axis. And, besides Axis, we also have Larsolus appearing physically in the chapter. And then in the God chat, we have, Noxra, Nexiva, and Larsolus all chit-chatting away towards the end of the chapter. But, so it becomes quite clear, if it wasn't clear in the other chapter, that Axis is in desperate need of therapy. As we said, all this... no one gets to be a hero without a little bit of trauma. I've never met a hero that doesn't have trauma. Maybe I should try writing a story like that. But then... Yeah. But, so... Axis is an angsty teen that needs therapy. He, and if you're interested, he likes taking revenge and burning beaches. Maybe not burning beaches, instead of long walks. No, he's kind of lazy. But, so in this chapter... Sorry, I make myself laugh. In this chapter, we learn about Axis's mom a bit more, and that she I don't know where I was going with that. Can we get through this sentence, David? I don't know. Axis's mom worships or follows Viserys, while his village as a whole followed and worshipped Larsolus. But through what you see here is how he's struggling with the concept of his father killing his mother, but he doesn't really struggle so much with the fact that he himself got sacrificed. And it's because there's this norm in the society that he lives in where sacrifices are just part of it. But, murderers are still a big no-no. Plus, he loved his mother. His mom was great. She baked him dragon cake. She took care of him. She raised her boy. Would she be, disappointed in what he did? Probably. But honestly, Honestly, if I think about it, I really think that his mother would be like, yeah, you killed them for sacrificing you. It would be the reason that she'd have a problem with, rather so much than, you know. But anyway, so Lars Solus is definitely surprised that Axis didn't die. And so it kind of initiates this bit of attachment, you know. And sorry, I got distracted by Z's comment in the chat. He said Axis equals Snark Lord and Mama's boy. Just a little bit. You have no idea. Oh, it gets so good. It gets so much better. But, so, and also with Larsolus, you know, checking in on him, being like, oh, you didn't die, you know, good on you. He decides to give him a present. However, I'm not gonna lie or bullshit you about this present. This present was to make my life easier as the writer, because I didn't want to have to count for his clothes every time he started burning stuff, especially since he randomly ignites when he gets emotional. You know how many times he'd have to put himself out? Yes, it'd be hilarious, but it would get old real quick, if you ask me. Exactly, he'd be arrested so often. I mean, yeah, there would be a whole nother side of the war. So, you know, oh my god. Just have to have him burn his food all the time. Oh yeah, he could burn his food all the time. And it's funny, we'll learn that Axis actually can cook. But that comes up later. So in the God chat, we see that Noxera, sorry, the names are so close, and that's all my fault, are taking bets kinda on how long Axis will survive. And then the conversation leads them to revealing that Abervis, the god of whatever, has reset the world before, and that's what Noxera is fearing. And it's really only said that, you know, he just resets it when the inhabitants annoy him. So it's left pretty vague. But with that, we see, you know, Noxera like fearing his return, but when people when all the other gods are saying, he ain't coming back, she freaks out and she's adamant that he will come back. So Noxera is the only god that is fearing his return as well as hoping for it. But that has to do with what she is the god of. She is the goddess of lost souls. So if Abervis was to reset the world, that's a lot of souls. And she hasn't dealt with that. So she's not sure what to do with it because she's a relatively new god. She's kind of like a teenager of a god at this point. But, so, oh my god, just totally blanked. I am so sorry. But yeah, so she's the only one hoping for his return and fearing it. And as I said, all the others aren't thinking he's coming back, and the chapter ends with Axis retrieving his mother's necklace that appears to be, you know, representative of her worship to Viscerus, with being a little tree with delicate wires. So, and I have a really funny little story about that real quick. So with this necklace, I was trying to come up with ideas, and quite often, so I'll do like image searches and I'll just go through them and look at a bunch of things and come up with an idea. And I had two different necklaces that I liked, and then I came across one, and sorry, I told it wrong. So going up, I was looking through all the necklaces, and that's how I got the idea for the design. But then it's like a bit of time after that, I actually came across pretty much the same exact design being sold, and Dave got it for me for Christmas the one year. I think it was Christmas, and it was really funny. I was just like so excited. But yeah. Do you guys, and anybody else remember a time when you could hug without COVID risks? Yeah, me neither. I'm just kidding. Before COVID risk, it was just anxiety risk. Up in the chat, boys. Okay, so that brings us to a conclusion for, chapter 5 here. God, we're going through this stuff real fast, but we're gonna talk about a lot of bullshit anyway at the end. We got plenty of stuff. As I fuck up my screen again, I'm sorry, guys. It's kind of better and kind of worse all at once than the other chat, the the other stream. Like we got some improvements and we have some disimprovements, but anyway. So, well, with chapter 5 concluded, I'm just I was gonna say something. Oh, I just wanted to talk real quick about Meme Monday. So, Meme Mondays, I try to do a meme every day. But, however, sometimes I put in a little more effort than I ever mean to with these memes. So, you see the finished product on my Twitter at Hopeful Attempt and my Facebook at Hopeful Attempt. And I also have a post on my Patreon that is public with the with all the memes in there too. However, the Patreon page has it'll have more detailed like if there's more than one layer to the meme that can be shown that's funny, I'll upload it on there because it's just easy for me and it gets people to come look at my Patreon a bit more. But so yeah, so in that last meme I posted, the conspiracy meme, which I love, and it actually came out looking more serious than a meme, but so if you go to the Patreon, you'll be able to not only see the finished product of that one, but you'll see each layer of the conspiracy board, and I wrote out something for each of those pieces of paper. Some of them are literally just, me writing, oh my god, how is this taking so long? It's already 6 o'clock. Like, I was trying so hard to get it done on time. Oh, let me just replay my loot there. Alright, so, but that's that. And, more about my Patreon, there are different tiers to it, so, if you're paying the $15 a month, which I know that's kind of steep for some people. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm pushing all the wrong buttons on my game. Just trying to play my loot. But if you go for the lower tier, which is the $3 a month, that gives you full guaranteed access to the story as it comes out, the original version. The Wattpad edition has to be edited so it can work on Wattpad, because Wattpad doesn't let me use different fonts and stuff. The original version, yeah. So, yeah, and so that's only $3 a month to get you on there. But, and if you pay for 1 month and you decide that you don't like it, that's fine. You can cancel and you can, go back to reading just the Wattpad edition. Beyond that, I also have, other tiers. So at the $15 tier, you'll gain access to the commentary edition too, which is a document. You'll have to have a Gmail for it, but I share it to you directly, and you'll be able to see all my comments throughout, and it gives insights and possible little spoilers about what, each scene or what I was thinking about it. So, but I just wanted to mention that. And then at the next tier or two up, for the 20 or 25, I forget which one it is, I'll kill you in the story. You'll get to be, and that's only in the story. Yeah, so... Aw. I would love... if I can get enough support and whatnot, I'll try and see about getting hardcovers for this made, once the story is finished, and I'd be more than happy to sign it, for, as long as I can cover the costs. But, and if I'll look into that and make sure, because once the story is finished and, completely published, then I'd be more than happy to do that and sign it and whatnot. I'd be so excited to, honestly. Thank you, Z. Oh, Z in the chat said I'd totally pay for a signed hardcover of this. A heart. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and at all the levels, including the $3, you get an invite to the Discord server, so you can participate in the question and answer section that gets for the questions that we choose for this stream that come at the end. So anyway, sorry, I know that's kind of boring, but you know I need to be supported to keep doing this, and I would love to keep doing this for everyone. So we'll move on to chapter 6, which is titled A New Day. And the appearing characters we have are Allura, Flora, Rune, and then we have 2 new characters show up. We have Alanis and Daddy Kuro. I mean, Kuro. I really need to stop calling him Daddy Kuro. I knew I was going to say something like that, because I made the joke in my notes. I set myself up for failure. But, you know. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then in the God chat, we have Sano Kuro. I wonder who the fuck that could be. But, anyway, so the chapter starts up with a display of, you know, another display of Allura's familiarity with the world. Because, as, you know, she's asking Flora where she's from, she's like, oh, isn't that really far? Like, you know, it's minor, just everyday topics, but it helps to world build just a little bit. And as well as to give you a better feel of what these characters' knowledge actually is. So Allura, we find out, has been traveling alone with Rune for about a year before she runs into Flora at this point. And we also see that when Flora asks Allura about her scar and whatnot, that Allura is the master of redirection and avoidance of topics she doesn't want to talk about. And that is why she is my hero. But we see, as we move on, we see more of the difference focus between the 2 girls, such as, you know, Flora is taking in the sights of the town that they've just entered, while Allura is just staying on task. She is focused. She knows this girl is limping around and she needs to take care of her. So they end up going to a building that has a red door with a white symbol of a snake wrapped around a stab on it, which is the sign for doctors in this world. Because, I don't know, I try to take something from our world and blend it. Or use it to inspire. I find a lot of inspiration on Google. I try not to, you know, I've learned so much about, you know, plagiarism and stuff. I try very hard not to plagiarize or anything, and I agonize over it and have anxiety attacks. But, you know, that hasn't happened since college, so, it's been but, so, and it's at this time, that they go into the doctor's office and they see a small little shrine to Sano Kuro, who is the god of healing in Vismundus. And we see in the god chat, we see Sano Kuro complaining about problems always finding him, and Larsolis giving him shit about it. Sano Kuro says, why do your foolish decisions always make their way to my shrines? And Larsolis, being the charmer he is, says, to be fair, all foolish decisions limp their way to you eventually. Like, this is a good thing to say, but, you know. But, he's not. But what do you expect when you become the god of healing? No one that is, well, it'd be rare, I feel, for someone perfectly healthy without any problems to go. I mean, at least Axis isn't hobbling over to him with his mental health issues right now. I mean, that would take up his whole evening. That is true. Did he have a choice? Who knows? I know. And no, I don't think he did. Especially if we're going with the way I answered that question about how gods are born, which is born out of necessity. He didn't have a choice. But, you know. But, I mean, he doesn't really have a bad life. He's doing good. Yeah, okay. Yes, you do. So in the chat, Z said you need some serious duct tape and time to fix that boy's brain. And you, sir, are right. You get a gold star. I don't know how to give it a gold star. Can I give a gold star? I can give a number 1. That's close enough, right? What's that? There you go. Get a number 1. Just totally throw myself off. So as we see, that works. So with this entering into the doctor's office, we see that Alora is extremely comfortable with lying. She doesn't hesitate at all, and her lie is seamless. She just instantly spins the story about how, you know, Flora's her little sister, and they were playing, and, you know, they don't want to get in trouble because Flora ended up hurt. And when Kuro comes in, the other doctor, it's not obvious that, you know, Sano Kuro. If you haven't gotten it yet, I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. Kuro, Sano Kuro. There is a connection. I didn't say what it was. Spoiler alert. So, and we see that Kuro is actually a little bit offended that Alora assumes that he will exploit her. But the problem is Alora already doesn't have faith in the world. She still respects the, like, you know, the world, but the people within it, she already just does not trust. She has no faith left for them. And in the end, we see that, you know, she has a chance to restore a bit of faith because Kuro ends up setting up both the girls for a few days to allow them to rest and recover, which is super nice. And it's just, I think it's really nice that they get the chance to chill out like that. And we'll see in the next chapter, you'll get to see a little bit more with Flora's abilities and whatnot, because she starts to explore them a little bit. And then and then in the chapter following that, you'll revisit Axis, and then there might be something interesting in chapter 9. But that you'll find out Friday the 11th if you are reading on Wattpad edition. If you are a Patreon supporter, then you have already got access to this. But the Wattpad edition will be posted Friday. Hopefully, I try to aim to, you know, post these things at 12 a.m. But, you know, as it depends on how chaotic my life is being. But it always is definitely posted on the date that I'm saying it'll be posted. Alright, so that brings us to our little questions and answers section. So, once again, these questions were submitted by my 2 Patreon supporters. Big shout out to my mom and David. Thank you guys. As well as my founding supporters. Big shout out to Austin and Z for, you know, helping me with this stuff. Austin, I know you sent a question in spirit because you're at work, and I appreciate you. Anyways, so our first question that I got, and these are in no particular order because I just kind of, you know, gathered them all up like a little chipmunk for the winter. But, yeah, go ahead, you hit me with the question and I'll hit you with the answer, and then we'll both get some ice. So, visitors would have been a little disappointed, and more than a little. He would have been more than a little disappointed. But so he would have been upset, and he would have questioned, why did he bother? Oh, you can't hear Dave? Can you... Oh, did you not have your audio?
So apparently my audio wasn't included in the stream the entire time. So.
Oh, that's lovely. So guys, when I was like, sound like I was, replying to nothing, it was because Dave forgot to unmute himself in the chat for 35 minutes.
Whoopsie. To be fair,
Big major F.
To be fair, I had thought I had that set, but apparently not. And it didn't.
Wait, no, guys. We're just totally going a little too hardcore on the fact that his name is Hippie Ghost.
Yeah.
He's just been playing a ghost. I have been talking to myself.
That's
the ghost
exactly
is now
it.
alive. You can hear him now, right? Someone, can you guys hear him now? Yeah. Speak, David.
I am talking. Yes. Here I am. Yeah. So.
Okay.
So, wow,
okay, so that question was,
that.
how upset would Viserys have been if Allura left the crevasse to suffer? So he would have been disappointed, and he would have questioned why he hated her during her own suffering when she didn't do the same for the others of, other sources of life. But he also kind of would have given her a bit of leeway because, she is a child. She is only 12.
All right, next question then. Sorry about this. So first things first, though. Sorry about that. You know what it is? It does the whole party being broadcast thing, and usually it sends you a notification saying your audio is not included, and it just did not do that. So I didn't even think about it. So that was my bad.
God! Oh God!
There are bad guys
enemies.
here. So that's fun.
It's okay. We'll be fine. So next question.
Alright, so next question is, whose possession of Flora strain on her soul and her body?
So, not particularly, because they are, so to speak, your...
Yes.
Oh, look at you. Sorry, got a little distracted there. Oh, thank you, Mr. Random, for killing our stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I was not expecting that.
Don't worry, mood music is coming back.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna kind of, be here.
Be
but yes. Anyway, so is Usko's possession?
So
Usko's. Yeah. Is it a strain on her soul and body?
And it's not particularly because they are one, basically. But the downside of that is they can't really be separated, not without the possibility of shredding their souls apart, basically. They could possibly, they might destroy their souls if they try to separate from one another at this point. But, so it's like they kind of share everything. But, and, Usko does rejuvenate and stuff off of the shadows and darkness itself, so, and you'll see a bit more about that, where you'll see it mentioned in the next chapter.
So it's more of a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, next question.
What led Avernus to reset the world, like Lord Solus was alluding to?
So, more or less, at times, the mortals get too smart for their own good, and they begin to destroy the world and or themselves. So Avernus would stop and reset the world before it got too out of hand, because he doesn't want to actually make a brand new world. He'd rather just wipe out all life and replace it. Viserys ain't too happy about that, let me just say. But next question.
Alright, so we know the gods are responsible for magic, but was there any form of magical practice prior? Even if it didn't work, did people try to practice witchcraft?
So sacrifices are a common practice in certain places, and witchcraft practices surely occur somewhere in the world, but it wasn't an aspect that I really explored within the world. But the gods would probably look at them and be like, they confused, but they got the spirit. I'll do it as a treat. And if they ever had instances of witchcraft working or being viable, it was because a god associated with whatever they were trying to do was like, I like your spirit, kid.
Amazing.
But so
they're just really amused by it.
So Z said, in regards to the last question, he said, not last question, the question before the last question. He said, so when he bonded with her, he took a big burden upon himself then. I wouldn't really say that Usko took much of a burden. If anything, he was just like happy puppy. There wasn't really any downside to either of them. Honestly, Flora is a very overpowered character at the moment, but you'll see how that is tamed or tapered. I'm not sure what word to use there. How that's managed so it's not like, it's things aren't still a threat, because there's plenty of threats.
Oh yeah.
All right,
next question.
Move on to the next question.
If you were to put a cute outfit on Rune, what would it be?
Ha! Bold of you to assume I didn't take advantage of that opportunity within the story. But that comes up much later in the story. However, my favorite little outfit to put on him would be a fuzzy little sweater with hearts all over it, because I think that would be adorable.
It would
Don't you?
It would be, yes.
Oh, my heart.
All right.
Next question.
What were the things that attacked Allura and Flora?
So, the things that attacked them are what I named the Gravas, which are basically little, basically like beefy dragon hounds about the size of a 60 to 80 pound dog. So, like a lab or, I'm trying to think, I'm sorry, I've always had labs, and my labs are like 60, I've had ones that are 60 to 80 pounds, so that was just the size I was thinking. I can't think of another dog breed. I don't know, because I feel like shepherds are lighter weight than, but
Probably. You know more about dogs than I do.
Just kind of think of a beefy dog size, like the size of a lab or a pit bull, I guess, like a bigger pit bull, not like a low one to the ground, like a low one, like a bigger one.
Yeah.
But beefcake, a dragon pit bull. Yeah, that's what I was just basically saying. But kind of like that. But yeah, I guess a dragon pit bull is really the best way to put it. But I feel like it's a bit bigger because I don't know. A lot of the pit bulls I see are small. Anyway, we can go to the next question.
All right. Does Usko eat? And if so, how many souls does he eat?
So Usko can feed off of despair and souls and etc. But he doesn't really eat souls in particular. However, there may be a soul eater in the future.
Ooh.
It's an idea I've been toying with. But
I'm so glad it's getting an anime. I couldn't resist.
I love that anime. On a little side note, I love that anime. But now Usko is sustained by Flora's happiness.
Aww.
And he's better than ever.
Isn't that adorable?
Okay, next question.
What would have happened if Usko had been bound to Axis instead of Flora?
Oh boy. So, a lot of dark shit, man. A lot of dark shit. Axis would definitely become guaranteed the villain of the story if he had Usko, because he would have just fallen into darkness and he would not have come back. We'll see that with the powers that he does have, he's going to, be a little more accessible, and you'll see in the upcoming chapters that he is not unreachable yet.
All right. So, Axis and Larsolis both seem to smirk a lot. Is there a deeper connection there?
So, they do say mimicry is the highest form of flattery, but no. It just helps to showcase the similarities between the two, and that they really could be related. And we'll see more of this as in the next chapter, in the upcoming chapters when we have another Larsolis Axis interaction. Next question.
Hey. And what is Jaguar Stone? I almost started trying to answer it instead, but what is Jaguar Stone?
So Jaguar Stone is an opaque tan brown and ochre from is that ochre?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. I think it's pronounced ochre.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't like words. I should have double checked this. I don't like words, and I have words written everywhere. But it's
the writer does not like words.
I worded enough for you people. No, I'm just kidding. I love you. Come back. So it's impure quartz that's But the reason I chose the stone is because it's referred to as a healing stone in, real life. Acker. Okay. I'm gonna look it up later. Like the slime in D&D. Thank you, Z, my D&D master. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be calling people master, but whatever.
Yeah.
Austin might get jealous there, because, he's my D&D buddy too.
Mm-hmm.
So in our world, in the real life, they have healing, they have crystals and all that. I've never really looked into it that much. I've scratched the surface while doing research for things like, making appropriate, coming up with appropriate shrine designs for my stories. And I chose the Jaguar Stone because it was associated with healing, and it said specifically that it was for courage as well. But my focus was really that it was a healing stone. But like I said, I really can't say much about crystal healing and whatnot, other than, modern medicine is always a good place to look first.
Woo! As somebody who is big,
I'm not trying to mislead anyone, but no.
As someone who's very big into the occult, yes, always trust modern medicine over anything, magic-y.
But yeah, that's why I use the Jaguar Stone, and that's what Jaguar Stone is. So, I have one other thing I have a couple things I wanted to say. So in January, my goal will be to be posting every week, every week on both sites, as opposed to every other week on each site. But it'll be 1 to 2 chapters every week. And on top of that, I have the Christmas poll up on my Patreon for supporters to participate in. Currently, the one in the lead is Viscerous, and it doesn't look like it's going to change unless I get more supporters that join. So it's likely that I'll end up releasing a little short character sheet on Viscerous, the forest god. And there's one other thing. I am planning on doing an extra stream set coming up. But I need to figure out when I'm going to be able to put it in. I have a story called Never in Silence. It's about 50 pages, yes. And I plan to post that one all at once. It'll be posted on my Patreon a week before I'll post it on Wattpad. However, that story, honestly, there's several different narration styles done in different fonts. And if I can't figure out how to make it work well on a Wattpad, I may just make it available after a week free for the public on there. So that way, because I really absolutely adore that story, and it's a tragedy without a happy ending. It's the only Christmas theme it has is that it's cold, because it takes place on a frozen mountaintop. But no, it's straight up tragedy. And it has a sad ending. There is no happy ending to it. But it was inspired by Sayuna's Curse Hellblade, that game. And I love that game so much. So when I post that story after it's been posted for free for the public, I will be doing a stream of playing through the entire game while talking about the story or random bullshit. But it'll be a fun little thing, and then it'll be posted probably as a little series on YouTube. Not really edited like all my other stuff because I don't have time to edit. But and that's a new skill I'll have to learn.
Woo.
So that pretty much wraps up that stuff. And so we got about 10 minutes left of our stream. So I would like to give that time to David, Hippie Ghost.
Hi! Now that I have my mic unmuted, yes. And, I'm really upset about that because I was making all these nice little quips and the jokes and everything, and the only person that got to enjoy them was you.
Yeah, and I just look like I'm talking to myself.
That's okay.
And that's okay.
You know
what?
I talk
to myself normally.
I tried so hard and I got so far, but in the end it didn't even matter.
Yeah. I love that. So as we all know, Dave is my my friend in writing, and he's really helped me cultivate my skills when it comes to writing. He's gotten me this far. But he's currently working on his own content to post, which you'll be able to find under his Hippie Ghost Patreon. And I'll be sure to post his links on the YouTube video when it gets uploaded.
Yes.
So, two things that I have for you, Dave, which I'm going to probably ask you every time. That, I asked you this last time too, but when are you expecting your first post? Which I know I asked you last time. And then the other one is, what is the current story that you are working on?
Well, my first post is going to be the story I mentioned last week, which is Finding Work. That one is completed and ready to post, but I'm trying to get a bit of a backlog. So my plan is to finish the current short story I'm working on, and then move on to the next little project. And I'm going to be posting Finding Work in the beginning of the new year. Yes. I haven't gotten a schedule yet as far as what day of the week and everything, because it's going to be based a little bit around my work schedule. But that is my current plan, is to post it starting in January, and then I will have a regular schedule of content from there. And then the current story is actually one that you suggested to me. It is the story of, it's the first part of a series of stories following Lady Farista, and she is going to be doing little, documentaries and adventures of the different races and different creatures that can be found in the world of, or in the land of Aething. It's the world is Deathsthea, but in the land of Aething. So she will be primarily, her stories will be a way of kind of doing the world building and showcasing what Aething is like, whereas the other short stories will follow more of the lives of the individual characters. She's going to have her own role as well, and you're going to get to see a lot of her character. So far, she is very fun to write, as is her mercenary friend who is going to be protecting her. I don't want to give too much away about that, but let's just say that her parents did not know what they were in for when they hired this particular mercenary.
It is such a treat of the story. I can't wait for other people to read it. It's it truly is amazing. But I mean, so is your other one that is my favorite still. But that's just because I'm partial to your Carrick. Your Carrick. As I try to say his name and character at once. Yes. Your character, Eric.
Yes. Amanda's break buddy. Eric is such a fun character to write as well. He, very, very loud, very brash, has that, nice raspy voice. And, he's very gruff and everything, but he's, I guess what I would probably say, I don't want to say he's stupid, but he is at the same time, and he's not afraid to, say it. It's like he's got his smart moments.
He's got very selective knowledge.
Yes, he's got a very, very selective knowledge.
If you ask him about, if you ask him to count to 100, he can't do that. But if you ask him about, politics, socioeconomics, he's got you.
Yeah, which is really funny, actually. The dude cannot count and cannot read. But the most he can count to is two. But he is extremely knowledgeable in terms of, social issues and, the economic styles and just the, what's the word I'm looking for here? The power structures of Aething, to the point where it's actually a little bit concerning. But, maybe there's a reason for that. I mean, he's a bit of an active person, and he is actually, I will just tell you flat out, this man is an anarchist, and he is just so lovely about it. His weapon of choice is a brick.
And it's just such a beautiful thing, especially since his favorite line, can I say his favorite line?
Yes, you can.
Eat my entire ass. Sometimes he adds, you fascist pig. But,
Mm-hmm.
I love it so much.
Yep.
So, one other thing I wanted to bring up about your stories. I know you're not working on this short story yet, and but your ESO character here is based off of you
Earlier.
designed her to kind of mimic or represent an earlier version of Elra in your story,
Yes.
but that's the OG Elra, who has split into two different people. That scarring on his character's face there, yes, the one of them has it.
Yes. So, when I first started creating the Athenian Tales, like when I was basically like kid, two of the characters, their names were Arlie and Elra, and Elra was a scion, and Arlie was a mage, and they were both twin sisters and everything. Well, eventually, over time, they ended up getting merged into just Elra, who was a mage that also had a little bit of psionic power. She was supposed to be like, this super overpowered character, pretty much. But in time, she ended up splitting up again. I decided that it was better for story purposes and stuff for them to be separate people again. So Arlie got her name changed to Arya, and Elra is still Elra. Elra is a master of psionics, and she is also the captain of the pirate ship, the Crimson Tempest. Arya, on the other hand, is a master of magic, specifically magic relating to the elements except for earth. She does not do well with earth magic, but fire magic, anything related to water magic, and air magic. She can also combine...
I guess you could say she's not very grounded.
She is not a very grounded person at all.
She'd be great with axes.
And she...
Sorry.
You're fine. She will also combine these elements and stuff. She can make storms and electrocute and everything. Of the two, however, Elra is considered the scarier one. Arya is a lot more excitable. Both of them are pirates, and they both actually share the role of captain for the Crimson Tempest, but Elra does all of the actual negotiating and stuff, because Arya is the type that she wouldn't mind doing favors and everything, and Elra's the type that will charge you after Arya does you a favor.
Yeah.
In fact, in one of our collabs that we recently did, Elra offered one of the characters a chance to help find their long-lost lover, and then found the long-lost lover and made the same deal with him to find his long-lost lover. They were each other, and double charged them both, so she double dipped.
Yeah.
And
but hey, she's a pirate.
Yep. And the best part is she's very close friends with one of them. But yes, one of the 50
collabs. Yes, you are right, Austin.
Yes. So he
It's good to see that you made it to the stream for a moment.
Yes. So.
But yeah.
That is that would be Arya and Elra, and you will actually get to see a little bit of one of them in the collab finding work.
That's right! Oh, that's so exciting. I just got very excited there. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Well, Shadow, I'm happy that you're able to get onto the stream. I know I just called you Shadow because that's your name on there. But Austin, I'm glad you were able to make it to the stream on your break. That means so much to me, having your support. Speaking of support, be sure to follow Dave on Facebook at Hippie Ghost. And his Patreon is also at Hippie Ghost. And my be sure to follow me as well on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and view my content at Wattpad and Patreon, where you can support me and get the original version rather than the Wattpad edition for a minimum of $3 a month. And you can always cancel if you decide that it's not if it's not your cup of tea. But
pay what you can, cancel anytime.
Yeah, basically. Beyond that, I really appreciate everyone who jumped on the stream. I really appreciate everyone who jumped on the stream today. And all of you that have been sharing and liking my things on Facebook and Twitter. I'm going to start switching up my posts, so my Twitter doesn't have the same posts as my Facebook, so you should follow me on both. But anyway, as I said, I'm going to probably post Never in Silence soon, but I gotta finish editing it before I can, and then after that's been posted for the public as well is when I'll do the streams for it, and it'll be about a 50-page short story that ends in tragedy.
I do want to point out that story too was written much later than when Souls Awakened. Mm-hmm. And it's, everything that she learned from writing Souls Awakened and the stories that came after it, but before this story, really culminates into something really special. It's one of my favorite stories, so it's just absolutely incredible the way that she handled it. Very, very poetically written. So it's one of my favorites.
But yeah, so Facebook and Twitter will have all my announcements and updates on there, and be sure to check out my Patreon, because it does have the memes up there for free, and it has a little extra bits from the memes that you won't see on Facebook and Twitter, so it's good to check that all out. Otherwise, if you can, support me on Patreon. Otherwise, just support me by liking and subscribing and sharing. Please share. I love you guys so much. Thank you all for coming to the stream. It means a lot. You got anything to add?
No, I think that's it. Tuning in, and thanking everybody for their patience as I figure out that I didn't have my mic.
Yeah, if you're just joining us now, you'll be able to view the whole stream soon on YouTube and on Twitch as well, and you'll be able to see how for the first 35 minutes of the stream we did not realize that Dave was muted. So it's just me talking to myself, laughing randomly, nothing new. Anyways, I love you guys so much, but I'm gonna hang up now.